So welcome to our Tuesday at 10 call. And I just want to start out by giving you updates on NAR and IAR and MIBOR. And there's not a lot happening right now. I think things have settled down a little bit, at least for the time being. There's always the Department of Justice out there that could weigh in at any time and change things. There is a lawsuit that was not settled in the NAR settlement, and it's an MLS called MLS PIN, and I forget where it is, but at any rate, they weren't included in the NAR settlement, so they've come up with their own settlement, and the Department of Justice has kind of weighed in on that, and they're not liking the settlement in that particular case. However, part of that settlement was that the MLS would continue to advertise commissions, but it would be optional. So the seller could opt out of advertising any commission. So I think that's probably why the DOJ doesn't like it, which in our case, we don't publish it. We don't even offer it. It's all negotiated in a purchase agreement. So I doubt that the DOJ would change any of those particular things. So, and from IAR, nothing new. MIBOR, if you haven't paid your tech fees, they're past due. So you need to pay those if you haven't. Otherwise, you owe a past due fee and you're going to get cut off soon. So you need to pay those if you haven't already. And the other thing, we've got this change that NAR made to the clear cooperation policy. And right now there's no change. It's business as usual because the MLSs have been given time to implement that. And so far, MIBOR has not yet implemented that change. So there's only two statuses or three statuses. There's an active status, which means it's active, it's on the market, and it's being sent out to all the listing services, or it's office exclusive listing, in which case it can't be advertised at all, or it is a pre-market listing. It can be advertised, but you cannot show it. And so, and I sent out the rules concerning pre-market listings to all of you so that you would have a fresh look at that. So just if you want to do a listing that way, just realize that by pre-marketing like that, you may end up with somebody that wants to see it, but you can't show it, type of thing. So so that's how the pre-market thing works. Once the delayed listing kicks in, once MIBOR does that, my understanding is that you can do everything with the listing, including show it to prospects, but you can withhold it from being published on IDX feed, so it won't show up on Zillow and etc. Any questions on that stuff?
I need to do my continuing ed. There's more.
Yep, you have until June to do your continuing ed. You can get it for free from IAR, I think, has free, it's online.
But I got online ones.
Yeah, you can take it for free. I always pay $99 and take it from J. Rose. So I like them, and I like the way they do it, and it's always interesting and keeps me.
You know if he's still doing before June?
Pardon?
Do you know if he's still doing live ones before June, or do you don't know?
Oh yeah, he'll be doing He does them on a regular basis, and you can take it, you can do it via Zoom. It's live, but via Zoom, or you can go in person. He also has in-person classes. So yeah, I always like taking it from him. Okay, any other questions? I'm going to share my screen here for you.
Hey, Jim, is the pre-market listing options, are those now covered in the listing agreement? Is that something that's a group like addressed in the listing agreement, or is that determined after you get a listing agreement in place?
that there's nowhere where that's determined, the pre-market. And so, and one of the requirements of are you looking at my screen now, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. One of the requirements of the pre-market thing is that, let's see, I gotta get this out of the way here. One of the requirements of the pre-market thing is that or the delayed listing, not the pre-market. Pre-market's what we have currently. With the delayed listing, once that's implemented, you will have to have a document signed getting the seller's permission to do that. Right now with pre-market, there's nothing for them to sign. So you just have to have that verbal discussion with them. So you can put it as pre-listing. You just need to let them know we can't show it, and it won't go out to the internet as a whole, but it will go out. It will be available for realtors to find, and I can advertise it. So again, what you can do and what you can't do is in that communication that I sent you from my board. So keep that in mind that's that's part of that. So
What's the benefit for the seller? I guess I'm having trouble grasping how that benefits
it
the seller.
it really doesn't. However, one way to look at it is, and I had this conversation with another seller. So we know that we get the most activity when a listing is first listed, right? And when it goes out on the internet, it's going to go to Zillow and Redfin, and are the two primary places where people go on their own to search, right?
Yeah.
And so if they want to see that house and they're on Zillow, what's going to happen? They're going to be assigned an agent that's paying for leads, right? And that agent's going to call them and try to get their business and schedule that showing for them. Now, that agent doesn't know anything about the house, but they're going to be the one showing that particular client. So if the only way that they can see that house is through if I have more of a chance, I guess, of getting that lead, I know the house better than any other realtor because I listed it. So that's the impetus behind delayed listing. I don't like it. Personally, I don't think it makes sense, and I think that people that are promoting it really have a different motive altogether. And I think that if they outlawed me and me transactions, limited agency, if they made that against the rules and against the law, then there would be absolutely no reason why anybody would ever want to advertise their listing ahead of time. So this pre-market thing and even delayed listing thing is really to try to get that transaction within the same brokerage or within the within the same agent.
So it could benefit the seller if the listing agent charges less for overall for something that comes in that way. That would be how
That
the seller might view it as beneficial.
that could be, yeah, if you give a discount, if it's a me and me, yes. So, I mean, there are arguments for it, and I'm leaving it up to you guys what you want to do with it. So if you don't want to use it, just ignore it and forget about it. If you do want to use it, okay, then follow the rules. So if you want to use pre-market coming soon and advertise it on your own, then just follow the rules. When we get the delayed marketing option, again, if you want to use it, you're free to do that, and just follow the rules. That's all I ask.
Yeah. And then the delayed would build up, like you were saying, build up that little pool at the beginning of a listing to try to
Mhm.
get that's what the delayed one
Yeah.
accomplishes.
Yeah, and the whole idea being that okay, so we all know that when you get a listing lead, they don't necessarily buy that house, but you can get them as a buyer for another house. And so part of the idea behind a delayed listing or keeping it off of Zillow and Redfin and et cetera, part of the logic behind that is it gives me, the listing agent, an opportunity to get that business up front when most activity occurs, when it's a new listing. And so that's kind of the impetus behind that. Um, as far as doing it that way of delaying it. But again, from a seller perspective, you're limiting the number of people that are seeing that listing. Um, and I've always taken the approach, I want every single person out there to know about the listing. My goal is to sell the listing, not necessarily to get leads from the listing. But that's just me. That's how I look at it. A lot of people would say, hey, you list to last, and the reason you list is you get buyer leads from listings.
Mm.
And so if you want to work that to get them to maximize the potential for buyer leads, then it's probably good to keep it off of a place like Zillow or Redfin, where people go to search, and then it's going to get assigned to somebody else as a buyer lead, somebody that's paying for those leads. So just so that you know that. Any other questions? Okay, I'd like to talk a little bit about Realty World update. Um, in Realty World, we have a calendar, and it's right here. If you log into the Relium dashboard, the calendar's right here. So if you click on that, your calendar is going to come up. Now, you got different ways of looking at your calendar. The standard way looks like this. It's just a regular calendar, and it has dots on it if there's something on that day. I prefer to look at it as a list because it shows me what's going on, and so I can look down this list to see if there's anything here that I might be interested in, any training. So for instance, I see here that Social Bay, which is Back At You Media, has a training this Friday, the 11th, from 8 to 9. And it's about the listing videos. And I think that time may be different than 8 to 9 in Indy. Let me look at it. Well, if you, yeah, it's 11 o'clock Eastern time. So 8 to 9 is probably somewhere west of us. So it's 11 o'clock is when this happens. But if you go down to the bottom here, you can subscribe to this calendar and have it show up on whatever calendar you normally use. So I use the iCal and on my iPhone. And so I have subscribed to this. And so all of these things, they show up on my phone on that day at the specific time that that event is in my time zone. And I can just click on it. That appointment that's on shows up on my calendar, and it gives me the link to attend the training. It's all, virtual training. And I just click the link, and now I can attend that training right from my calendar, either on my phone or on my desktop. But I mean, this looks like a good one. Listing videos. So it's a new Social Bay feature, listing videos. During this webinar, we will explain what this feature is and where you can get to it. So this is an interesting thing for me, at least. Okay. I'm interested in that. Oops. Had a little error there. So at any rate, I just wanted to call that to your attention as something that you may want to do, which is subscribe to this calendar, and then these events will show up on your phone or on your desktop. And it doesn't matter, it'll do Google Calendar, it'll do different calendars. It has interfaces for different ones. I set it up for my iPhone. But if you're using a different calendar, you can do that. So I just wanted to call that to your attention. And there's some great training out there, some great information that you should try to take advantage of when you can. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, I'm gonna switch over then and talk a little bit about BoldTrail. And this is your BoldTrail dashboard. You all should be familiar with that. But I want to look at two specific things with BoldTrail. And the first is your profile. Because if you have not set up your profile, then you are not going to get the maximum benefit out of BoldTrail. So how do you set up your profile? Well, if you look up here, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a picture of yourself. That is, if you've uploaded a picture. And when you click on that, it will pull up and you can edit your profile. It says My Profile. So if I click on that, it pulls up my profile. And so here's my profile right here. And what I can do is I can edit this profile just with this little button over here. So if I hit edit profile, now it allows me to edit any field on here. So one of the things that I want is a picture of me on there. So I'm going to put that on there. And you just drag an image over there, or you click it and it allows you to search for an image to put your picture in your profile. Now, it's very important that you put your agent MLS ID in here. And you can do that by hitting look up my agent ID, and then it'll take you through that process of looking up your agent ID. And the reason that you need to have this in here is that this is the thing that pulls your listings over automatically from MyBoard. So when you get a new listing, then the core listing machine will prepare marketing material for that listing automatically. It will just automatically happen. But it won't automatically happen if you have not filled this section out here. So you have to do that for that part to work. You also want to put in your agent NRDS ID, and this is your NAR ID. That needs to go in there as well. Down here, you can put links. So if you put these in here, these are all of your social media accounts. So your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn account, your X account, your Facebook account, put those links in here. And this is all this stuff drives to your website. And so this allows people on your website that go to your website to click on your LinkedIn button, and it takes you to your LinkedIn page, or your Facebook button, it takes to your Facebook page. Also, you need to put your license number in here. One of the things that they require for this whole thing to work is that you have a license number in there. So you want to be sure to put your license number in your profile. And then you put your position and the languages that you speak. So I only speak English, but if you speak Spanish, you can put Spanish in there. If you speak Martian, you can put Martian in there. So whatever languages that you speak, you can choose those and you can put them in here. You want to make sure all your contact information is in here. So your cell phone, your work phone. Now this work phone, this particular number is your BoldTrail number. And so you don't want to change that number. You want that number to be whatever is in there. That'll be pre-assigned to you. You don't want to change that because that's how, if somebody gets online and they try to reach out to you, that's how you can contact them back, is through that number. So you want to make sure that you don't change that particular number. But you put your email address in. You can also have a vanity email address. And if you have any questions about this, there's a little, if you see a little eye, you can click on it and it's going to tell you what that does. And so you can, and it gives you your website, that's already been pre-assigned. You can put in any designations that you may have, any additional licenses that you may have. You can choose a lender. You can add a lender to your thing. So at any rate, once you get that whole profile done, you just hit the save button. I'm going to cancel because I've already saved mine. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you here. You also have the About Me, okay, to add it. So if you scroll down beyond this top part, down here, you'll see About Me. And this is where you can put, remember the class I did not too long ago where I talked about Chat GPT. It can write that for you. Well, this is the one that Chat GPT wrote for me. And so I just copied it and pasted it in here. And the nice thing about that, by doing that, this now appears on my website. So this is where your About You comes from. It's driven from right here. So you want to be sure that you go there. You can also determine your signature, what your signature looks like, and whether to include your signature on outgoing emails. You can also put in here any credentials that you have. You can put in here your background, your education. You can put your education in here. You can put your experience in here, your achievements, and your community involvement can be right in here. So this gives you a way to edit your profile. And all of that's then going to drive to various parts of your BoldTrail account. So you want to be sure that you fill that information out, because that's where BoldTrail gets the information for emails that are sent out, for listing information that they prepare for you, where they get the listing information, and et cetera. So that's very important to do that. So if you have not gone into BoldTrail and done your profile, that's your assignment for today. Before today ends, go in there and do your profile. If you've done your profile in the past, then your assignment for today is to log in and look at your profile and see if you'd like to make any changes to it. So for instance, I did my profile quite a while ago, but I decided I wanted to change the About Me part. And so I went in and I changed that. And so you may decide that you want to have Chat GPT write an About Me section for you. And so you can go in and edit that and change that. Okay, so that's one of the things that I wanted you to see. The other thing I wanted you to see, I'm going to go back to the dashboard here. Okay, so this is our dashboard. Right over here, they have system training. And they've got a agent quick start right here. So if you've never taken the agent quick start, you start there, because the agent quick start gives you an overall view of what BoldTrail can do for you. And so you really need to take that agent quick start if you haven't already done it. But if you've already done that and you want to take a deeper dive, then you click over here on the learning portal. And when you click on the learning portal, it's going to pull up all of the courses that are here. Now it lists all courses, and then it lists BoldTrail courses, and then it lists the OKV core courses. So I would go to BoldTrail courses, and then it's going to show you all of the courses that are specific to BoldTrail. Okay, so you're not an admin, so you don't need to take that one. But here's your Agent Quick Start class. There's 34 lessons in the Agent Quick Start class. And so you really need, now those lessons go pretty quick. So it doesn't take you, 34 days to do the Agent Quick Start. You can knock the Agent Quick Start out actually in about an hour or two, or you could spread that out over a couple days, but it's not that hard to get through the Agent Quick Start training. But then you can do a deeper dive. So this class here talks about BoldTrail daily calls and task management. So it goes into your CRM and how to get the most out of your calls and your task management within your CRM. And so that drills down a little bit more for you. This one, getting started with Core Home. Okay, so you can look at that, and it gives you more information on Core Home. Here's a quick start for lenders. And so you could take that class and learn about that. Here's advanced email and pages tools. Success assurance with BoldTrail. So these are some of the courses that you can take. Now there's also KV courses here, and some of the KV courses are useful as well. So for instance, there's the core listing machine. So if you want to know more about the core listing machine, which we have access to, and the design center, you'll find that under the KV core classes. And here's a class on that. There's 18 lessons, and it tells you how to get the most out of the core listing machine and the design center. So that's a great course to take as well. So I really encourage you to take some of these classes. Just set aside time on a weekly basis to educate yourself about the tools that you have available to you, and it will allow you then to get the most benefit out of this BoldTrail platform that's provided for you free of charge. There's no cost to you for that, and it's the kind of thing that you'll get a lot of benefit out of if you take the time to take those courses. So any questions on any of the things that I've covered so far? All right, I'm going to stop my screen share here. Up the share, there we go. And we're back. So no additional questions?